So you're gonna tell me about the mission?
I'll tell you about the mission as much as I can remember. I remember there was a long flight, and we hit flak twice. Heavy flak once, and then not too bad. And when we got near Poltava, uh, once we got into Russia,
Right.
all flak right up. Landing in Poltava was very crude. We lived in tents. They quartered us in tents. And what I remember best about it is the Russian soldiers had no quarters. They slept on the ground.
Wow.
And they were all back from battle, walking wounded.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't all wounded, but they were all back from battle.
Right.
And just very, very tough people.
Hmm.
And I do remember, now these are not so much combat, there's some stories I remember about Poltava. I can remember somehow or another we were going to have, Poltava was going to be a station. We would fly in, fuel, get weaponry, and bomb out of Poltava.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it never came about. They couldn't bring it all about. It was defended too strongly.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, the year prior, the airplanes that landed there were all destroyed on the ground.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. It was not quite a year prior.
Right.
But we had a nucleus of a military base there.
Mm-hmm.
And they set up a chow line, and the chow line was all Russian women. And of course, like all GIs taught the Russian women to say terrible things. When you came through the line, like you say, "What's your breakfast?" They say, "Same old shit." They didn't know what they were saying.
Yeah.
But the whole line was like that. I do remember that about it. And the food was pretty grim. However, I do remember, and I don't know if your dad remembers, the night we left, we were not able to strike out of Poltava. I'm trying to recall how we got to Foggia. We flew to Foggia, but the night we left Poltava, they had kind of a banquet for us. And I remember, the best thing I remember about, they served ice cream. It wasn't really ice cream, but it was frozen milk. But the closer you could come to it. And from there to Foggia, I can remember a little bit about Foggia. Now the commanding officer, whose name escapes me, was an Olympic swimmer, diver.
Okay. It's still going.
And I remember we were all commandeered to come and watch him dive. He was a horse's ass.
Yeah, commanding officer, right?
Yeah, commanding officer. I don't remember too much more about that, except it was long and tedious, and we were glad to get back to England. Well, they were talking about us flying missions out of Italy, and 8th Air Force held up their hand and said no. We'll fly back with the 8th. We were with the 15th there in Foggia. Well, that's not a great deal I can tell you about that, Tim, because it just highlights of what I can remember.
Do you remember what route, once you left, now Foggia is down in the boot, way down south
Right
in Italy. Did you just go over the Mediterranean and then up to stay away from the continent?
Yes, we did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, we did.
That's what I would have done.
Yeah. That's what we didn't do. Yeah.
Okay.
Wish I could be a little more.
Do you know which mission that was? Because Because I know a lot of them that you went on is the same missions that my dad went on.
Yeah.
Was it one of the first ones or near the end or?
I'd say it was in the center somewhere.
Okay. My dad never mentioned which one. He just said, he just mentioned going to Poltava and Foggia on the way back.
You know, I can't identify that. Maybe this is it. October 30th, Germany.
Mm-hmm. If it just states Germany, maybe then you went on into Russia from
exactly.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. Do you want to? Can you tell me about when my dad's plane went down?
You know, that's what I'm trying to recall from these looking at these missions. It would be our first flak leave, so that would I would say would be within our first 10 to 15 missions, because he refused to go on the flak leave, and that's what got him. He went with another crew while we were on flak leave.
Oh, I wonder why he refused to take flak.
He wanted to get back. He wanted to complete his missions.
Get the 35 missions behind him and just be done with it.
Right, exactly. And we would be gone a week, and he thought he could get 2 flights or 2 combat missions then.
Right.
And the very first one, he got shot down.
Right. And when people are shot down, you can go ahead and say what happened. What do people normally do?
Well, of course, he didn't come back. We had no idea what happened to him. Right. And then he's declared missing in action.
Yeah.
And as such, they turn up his bunk and try to get as much of his things back that belonged to him as possible. But, you know, everybody divides them up before you.
Right.
Yeah.
So you weren't with him when he went down, and you weren't with him on the very first mission that didn't count, the one that didn't count for him. You weren't with him when he had a mid-air collision.
I don't recall that, Tim.
Okay.
I tend to confuse my World War II missions with all the flying I did afterward.
You did a lot of flying.
I did a lot of flying.
Well, just the World War II alone is 35 missions that are harrowing, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Well, do you want to talk about any of the other, something that comes to mind? Any other one of the missions that really comes to mind? Was it pretty much...
I should have pulled myself... I had such a dumb day.
Well, when you got out...
no, I don't think Jack was with it when we got shot down.
No?
No. That's why I know he was not, because that co-pilot was Biltani. When I say we were shot down, we were forced to land.
Okay.
We came down to 1 engine.
1 out of 4?
Yeah.
3 not working very
3
good.
not working. 3 years they kept quitting on, and we finally sat down in Leon Calran.
Oh, I know where that's at. Yes.
Yeah. And no, I know Jack was not on that flight.
Okay. He'd never mentioned that one, so...
No, because I can remember the co-pilot vividly was Bill Tani.
Yeah. So was it flak that took out the engines?
Yeah.
It was.
Flak and enemy fighters. Heavily fought mission.
Yeah. Do you remember which mission it was where you were going?
No, looking at this.
Somewhere in Germany.
This doesn't tell me anything anymore. I wish I'd kept it better. Well, I'm not a big help to you, Tim.
No, that's fine. You're I've learned an awful lot. Especially, I didn't know anything about the Poltava and the Foggia, and I particularly like about the Russian ladies.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and stop this.